They called him an emperor, a ruler of men, of armies, of vast lands. But Marcus Aurelius never saw himself that way. He was not obsessed with gold or power or legacy. He was obsessed with one question. How can a man own everything and still feel empty? He lived surrounded by wealth, yet he slept on a soldier's cot. He commanded the world, yet he wrote to himself like a student afraid to forget the lesson. His meditations were not meant for us. They were confessions, notes whispered to his own soul. In them, he built a philosophy not of ambition, but of restraint. He believed the greatest form of wealth was the ability to want less. Imagine standing in a marble palace. Columns rise like pillars of eternity. Servants hurry to please. Crowds chant your name outside the walls, and yet inside your chest, there is only silence. That was Marcus's life. The world called him rich, but he knew better. Because wealth, he wrote, is not in what you have, but in what you can live without. The man who needs nothing cannot be ruled by anyone. He saw luxury for what it was, a trap disguised as success. He watched senators crave attention, merchants lose their souls in pursuit of profit, and philosophers sell their wisdom for applause. He realized that the more men gained, the less they owned themselves. There is a word the Stoics cherished, euthymia. It means peace of mind, a steady state of the soul, untouched by chaos. Marcus understood that peace is not found in abundance, but in balance. To know when enough is enough, that is mastery. He wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Do only what is necessary." He meant it literally. Simplify. Cut away what drains your spirit. Don't fill your life with noise, people, or ambitions that steal your focus. The man who knows enough is richer than the one who owns the world, because enough is not poverty, it is freedom. When you stop chasing what doesn't matter, you begin to see what does. History tells us that Marcus Aurelius had immense power, but he never trusted it. He saw power as an illusion, a costume that fools the wearer before it fools the world. So he practiced poverty, not out of guilt, but out of discipline. He would eat plain bread, drink water, sleep on the ground. He did it to remember what cannot be taken from him. If you can live simply, no loss can break you. That was his secret, to own without being owned, to enjoy what life offers, but to remain ready to lose it all. To be, as he wrote, like the rock against which the waves break, unmoved, and the raging sea falls still around it. The true poverty of man was not financial, it was emotional. Desire, he said, is an illness of the mind. It whispers that you are incomplete. It keeps you moving, always chasing, never arriving. He compared it to a fire that grows the more you feed it. The man who wants little can rest, but the man who wants everything will burn forever. And that is the tragedy of our age. We have built a world where desire is currency, where envy drives progress and contentment is seen as weakness. We scroll through the highlights of others, comparing our lives to illusions, forgetting that even emperors once wrote about feeling hollow inside their golden cages. Marcus would have looked at our world and whispered the same warning: be careful what you wish for. You might spend your life paying for it. The fortress of the mind. If wealth is fragile, then the only lasting treasure is the mind. That was the Stoic's truth. Marcus trained his mind like a soldier trains for war. He began each morning reminding himself, you could die today. You could lose everything. Act with virtue while you can. It wasn't pessimism. It was preparation. The Stoics didn't meditate to escape life, but to endure it with grace. They believed the mind is the only fortress no one can conquer unless you abandon it yourself. And in that fortress, Marcus built his empire, not of gold, but of thought. Every idea he wrote was a brick of discipline, a wall against chaos. He taught that when you master your reactions, you master your world. Nothing external can enslave a man who governs himself. What is true wealth? Marcus would say, it is virtue, the alignment between what you think, say, and do. Virtue cannot be stolen, devalued, or corrupted. It is the only currency that remains when the market collapses, when your fortune fades, and when your name is forgotten. He believed that character was the purest form of power, that the just man, the one who lives according to reason and integrity, is richer than kings, because he does not depend on anything he can lose. The modern world worships numbers, bank balances, followers, views, but Marcus understood that the richest man is the one whose mind cannot be bought. Simplicity was not deprivation, it was revelation. Marcus found beauty in ordinary things. A loaf of bread split open, a leaf turning to dust, the glow of morning light through smoke. He saw that the world is already overflowing with meaning, but our greed blinds us to it. He wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good." The more he turned inward, the more he found peace, because the soul, he said, is a kingdom greater than Rome. When the noise of desire fades, you begin to hear the quiet song of existence, the melody of enough. If Marcus lived today, he would not envy billionaires or influencers. He would pity them. He would see the same disease of distraction that plagued Rome, only multiplied. He would see men working themselves to death to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. He would ask, what is the point of wealth if you are poor in time, poor in attention, poor in peace? He would remind us that the richest life is one where you own your hours, your mind, and your soul. To work for wealth is natural. To worship it is slavery. There comes a point in every life where ambition turns to noise and the heart grows tired of running. That is when the art of enough begins. Marcus believed that enough is not the end of desire, it is the beginning of wisdom. To sit with yourself and say, "I have what I need," is not complacency, it's liberation. Because the man who knows he has enough can finally look up and see the sky, hear the wind, and feel gratitude instead of hunger. The Stoics taught that happiness does not arrive from adding more, but from subtracting the unnecessary. Freedom begins the moment you stop needing to prove yourself.